Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host Chris, or CDB, and today we're going to revisit a soap that we used recently during that 10-minute shave that we didn't really have time to talk much about. This is the Vander Hagen luxury soap. I'll show you the ingredients right there real quick while I talk about this soap. This was sent to me by viewer Christian. It is very affordable on Amazon. It's like 3.5 ounce pucks for like $9 and something. It's something like 87. It's under $1 an ounce. So if you look at our price sheet there, it's off the chart good in terms of price. The soap itself comes in a puck like this. The Vander Hagen logo, which is like a windmill, is actually on the soap, but it's kind of coming off now because I've lathered, on the puck, so it's wearing off. But it does come in a box like this. The scent on this is, to me, it's like a fresh linen type scent, if that makes any sense, like a dryer sheet or something like that. It's a pleasant sort of, I would call it almost sort of citrusy sweet, but I don't know, linen, I think like a linen type dryer sheet would be the way I would characterize it, I think. So let's, I'm going to use the West Coast Shaving, the 26 millimeter silver tip badger. And you know me, I don't really care that much about using natural hair brushes, but we're going to give it a go today. And if it doesn't work out well, I'll just switch right in the middle of the shave to the West Coast Shaving synthetic. I just prefer synthetic knots. They're less hassle. They don't smell. They make lather easier, quicker. And for that reason, I prefer them. They're not nearly as finicky about soaking and cleaning and, so on and so forth. But some people really prefer the badger and boar, and that is entirely okay if that is your preference. There's actually nothing, absolutely, I should say, nothing wrong with it. I'll wet my brush a little bit. We're getting a load on it. This is a hard soap puck. It's quite hard out of the container, so you may want to soak it. It will make it a little easier on you. I had good results with this on the head, or excuse me, on my face during the 10-minute shave. I'm sorry, I'm getting taxed from being in during this Corona thing and not socializing with people apart from, on the internet. So it's getting to be weird. And I know there's people in the hospital, like Jimmy from New York City, wet shaving. His wife can't even visit him in the hospital. So please, if you're so inclined, say a prayer for the people who are in the hospital and they can't receive visitors right now. They're basically cutting off all that sort of stuff to stem the spread of this illness. Looks like we've got a load. I don't know if it's enough, but we shall wet the dome here, and we'll use some of this that's left in my hand to sort of as a pre-shave here. Anyway, this soap is actually quite good for when you consider the price, 87 cents, under $1 an ounce, let's say. It is not bad at all. I'm going to be using the leaf again today on the dome. I have used the leaf all week. I've enjoyed it. It is absolutely becoming my daily driver in terms of head shaves. You know that typically I prefer cart, but the leaf has been treating me very, very well. And so we're going to keep plugging with it. All right, let's see see how this is just, honestly, I just don't like using natural hair. It doesn't feel as nice to me. It'll work, but it just doesn't feel right because I'm so used to using synthetics. I need a little water, I think. This is a very nice badger knot for the money. I got this on sale. It was like, when it was on sale, they had 2 sales going. It was like $44. It is quite a big, soft knot, and it's working better now. I'm just not as accustomed to using it. And honestly, it really annoys me when natural hair brushes drop hairs and I'm shaving and I get a hair in it. I just don't care that much for it. But this knot, I must say, for the money, which was, again, it was on sale. It was 44 bucks. It feels as good as any $300 badger that I ever owned. Honestly, Thader, Shave Mac, Morrison Foundrin, or Fundrin, however you say that. This has quite a nice, soft knot on it that is not scrubby. And I don't want any sort of scrub. I don't want to scrub my face or head at all. Like I always say, I do that in the shower. And so I'm just not interested in scrubbing there. Just trying to knock a little bit of that down so we can prepare for the leaf, which has Astra SP blades. And as I've been mentioning time and again, be very careful around your ears. This razor is a little bit tall from top to bottom there. So make sure you give yourself, you know, space to work and pull down those ears so you don't nick or cut yourself. I hope everybody's doing fine. My heart goes out to those of you who are unable to work or in the hospital, like Jimmy from NYC. It is a really difficult time for everyone, and I hope that through, you know, communicating with one another over these videos, it helps a little bit. I know there's only so much we can do, but guys like Jimmy are stuck there in hospital. His wife can't even visit, as I said before, and that is, man, that's crazy. But that's what's necessary to stem the tide of this illness. I hope everybody is remaining healthy and following the protocols. It's a weird time in history. This sort of thing has really never happened at this level. So we're all learning on the fly, I think. And I just hope that everybody is doing well with it. I think these shaves help. It makes you feel better. I'm feeling a little sluggish, actually, because I've been working, but it's not the same because everything is either remote or, you know, all the meetings and so on that typically you would have face-to-face or, you know, via teleconference. And so we're, you know, lacking that social interaction, which people certainly aren't accustomed to, but, you know, it makes it a little different with everybody just kind of cooped up. But hopefully by doing this, we will shorten the duration of this thing so everybody can get back to work and going out and enjoying yourselves and, you know, playing sports and back to whatever normal is for you. And I realize that varies from person to person. Here, we had our first case, confirmed case in the city of Charleston, where I live, yesterday. There are 8 cases so far total statewide, so not a ton. And hopefully we're, you know, keeping those people isolated, and let's just hope for everybody that we get through this with minimal illness and injury. Can't speak economically and otherwise, because this is really hurting a lot of people. Anyway, enough talk about that. I don't want to bum everybody out. We're supposed to be relaxing and head shaving. This soap, actually, really good residual slickness. It is very inexpensive. A lot of times it can be found in your drugstore or your supermarket. And it works quite well. This is no Williams. You know, this stuff will lather. It actually has a nice scent. I'd call it about 2.5 to 3 maybe on the scent strength. It does lather. It does work. It's plenty slick enough. In terms of quality, I had no problems whatsoever. Let's pull some of this out of the brush and just put some of it on with our hands here. I'm telling you, I just don't care much for these Badger brushes. I know a lot of people love them, but for me, I just don't care that much for it. Now, honestly, is this soap going to be equivalent to your best artisan soap? Of course not. It doesn't have all the, you know, all those ingredients to make your skin feel soft and so on. But I will say, it is no slouch. For the money, you can do far worse. This is actually a pretty decent quality, in my view, a very decent quality soap when you consider that you can get 3 of these pucks on Amazon for essentially less than $10 last I checked. So, I mean, that is nothing to sneeze about. That's pretty darn good. Oh man, so when I start doing that with the brush, it just starts moving the lather around, and that irritates me about Badger. It just doesn't work. I'm just going to go with this, you know. It doesn't really matter. Like Frank from Wet Shaving and Stuff was mentioning the other day, we tend to obsess over the way the lather looks, and honestly, as long as you have a barrier protection, it will work fine. This will work just fine, trust me. Doesn't look pretty, but it will do the job. And honestly, I'm going to probably just get rid of these natural hair brushes because all they do is annoy me. I'm going to keep one, which is my sort of a special razor and brush borer. I'm getting rid of the rest. All they do is annoy the heck out of me. And what's the point in being annoyed, you know? I can get a $20, less than $20 synthetic brush, and it will work perfectly for me. I don't have to fool with it. I don't have to do any preparation. I don't have to, you know, coach it up into working. It just works. And so why be annoyed when you don't have to be? There's just no point in it. And I realize that many people feel differently, that they just love their Badgers. But for me, even though this is a really good Badger as far as the budget, it just annoys me. I don't like the way there's a big difference in the way that Badgers, borers, and synthetics make lather and hold it and release it. And a lot of times for me, these Badgers don't release the lather in the way that I'm accustomed, so it just becomes a point of annoyance. And if you're annoyed while shaving, there's no reason for it. And also there's a hair right there. That also annoys me a lot. And so I would just prefer to use the things that I really like and I know I can depend on, and I know I get very consistent performance out of day in, day out, and I don't have to jump through hoops to make them work. And I realize a lot of people feel this way about Badgers and borers. They're very consistent for them because they use them all the time, and you know, that's their jam, so to speak. But for me, natural hair brushes, or just, and I don't care how much money you spend, natural hair is natural hair. It works perfectly if you're accustomed to it. But trust me, spend about a month straight using synthetics and then go back to natural hair, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You're like, oh man, I got to do this, I got to do that. Different technique. And everybody thinks or I think we tend to assume that it's exactly the same technique. It's not. The way you make lather, the way it releases lather, the way that it feels, it's different. And so I say whatever camp you're in, Badger, borer, synthetic, both, do whatever makes you happy and use that brush. And you don't have to use them all just for the sake of saying that you do. That's sort of where I'm coming down right now. This spot right here is just super tricky with the leaf. But I'm trying to get more and more comfortable with it. That's a really tough spot. The razor, it's working well though. There's some brand new Astra blades in here, which are treating me very nice. And this razor right here is the closest thing you can get to a cart shave without it being a cart. And so that's pretty cool. Uses the 3 half DE blades, for those of you who don't know. Let's see how we did. Very good. We got this spot right here. Very challenging. The soap, by the way, which I didn't touch on a lot, it's quite good. There's plenty of slickness. Now, how it leaves your face, I don't know. It didn't dry me out, but then again, most things don't. I think it's a pretty good shaver. A pretty good soap. I'm not on my game today. I'm off. Okay, looks like we've done pretty good. Okay, let's rent the foam. We will come back for a post. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back with the Magic Made by Witches, Thayer's. That was a nice, calm, relaxing head shave. No problems at all. No creepers. weepers, bubbles, troubles, irritation. You can't argue with that. The Leaf, a really fine head shaving razor as far as I'm concerned. I love it. For me, if you want to get a head shave that's like a cart without it being a cart, Leaf, check it out. It is quite good. The Vander Hagen, let me get the box name. All right, and here we go with the Vander Hagen scented luxury soap box. No problems whatsoever with this soap. It comes at a really good price. Is it going to be as great as your artisan soap with the Super Blue Emu Unicorn Milk? No, but it is quite good for the money. It is not Williams, so anybody who thinks it's something like Williams, it lathers just fine. It performs just fine. There's plenty of slickness. It's a really nice soap for the price as far as I'm concerned. The West Coast Shaving Silver Tip 26 millimeter, really, really nice, soft, not scrubby silver tip knots, but I just don't like natural hair. That's just where it is. Let's finish off though today with this is Booster Barbershop Classics Lime. Just want to get some brightness going here today because the weather is meh outside and everybody's cooped up, and this is really bright lime. It's really nice and I like it. In fact, let's see if we can add some. I'm going to add some of Sterling's Frost Drops to the aftershave here on the dome and get some cooling going. So I got some booster in there, and so let's get a couple of, not wanting to come out. I'll have to work on that. There we go. We got a little bit out. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get these drops out. That would be the one thing that's a little bit, see if we can get some cooling going. All right, there we go. That's nice, nice, nice. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a rough one, I can see that. I really appreciate you watching. Till next time, it's your shave, do it your way, and of course, God bless.